Hi, you're watching a special edition of Open Bar on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our platforms. My name is Mike Morales. I am the CEO of Tequila Aficionado, and that gentleman over there is.
Hi, Mike. Nice to meet you, and thank you for the invitation. My name is Jose. I'm a tequila distiller from Casa Aceves.
Yes, this is Jose Aceves, and if you've never heard of his name, you this guy's like a 15-year overnight success. Okay, he's responsible for brands like one of our favorites right now, Don Sueños. He also, some of you who have been around for a while might remember Comisario. Comisario is making a resurgence as well, and I had Comisario somewhere like almost 12 years ago, a real small sample in Las Vegas, and I fell in love with it then. And behind you, Jose, you have some of the tequilas you're kind of responsible for, or have designed for your clients. Tell me, or tell our viewers, how does Casa Aceves works? You you actually design tequilas for people who want to create their own labels, right?
Yes, that's right, Mike. And thank you for make that question. We are, as you said, we are tequila creators. What that means, when somebody wants a private label, usually they used to come down to Mexico, visit different distilleries, and just taste something and say they discover something that are clothes that they are looking for, for his. We work totally different. We start from zero, from scratch. And when we say designing a tequila, that means that first of all, we can decide the profile for your brand. But for design something, we need to understand first what's your demographic, what is the price point for your product, and we need to understand the concept about your brand, your demographic, all about your brand, because in after that we can now propose something that match perfectly with your target market. We have 15 years creating private labels. At the beginning, we used to do things like maybe people say, "Hey, I like that tequila," and we use it. No, but maybe like us, and it's a great tequila, but it doesn't match with the demographic. A lot of things matter, like how you will drink it, if you're gonna mix it or for sipping. Maybe the profile, a very, very smooth tequila sometimes doesn't work for mixing, that kind of thing. That's why we say we design tequilas, because we understand if they need a lot of agave notes or very neutral in agave notes, very floral, fruity, smooth, not so smooth, all what you need. And then if you needed blanco, reposado, añejo, some kind of blend, all the possibilities we have, right?
You work. I know that we were talking off camera that your family grows agave, but you also have to buy agave on the open market. And right now we're in the middle of a severe crisis, of agave shortage, whether it's artificially inflated or for whatever reason. Tell the folks, first of all, where you normally get your agave, and I guess because you have to buy in the open market, you use a majority from one region and then blend with from whatever region you can buy from. Is that how that works?
Yes, we are located in Highlands.
Okay.
There are two main regions to produce tequila and agaves. We have 5 appellations, but only there are 2 areas, mainly lowlands and highlands. We are located in Highlands, And all the productions we have and all the agave we use for our productions comes from the Highlands areas. And as you say, our family has been growing agave for many years. My father used to he continues growing agave. And my brother and I started distilling tequila 15 years ago. But we don't produce enough for our brand. So all the time we need to go to the market and get some agave.
Right.
We have the fortune to have a very very close friends that they supply for big brands. They only supply very premium agaves and
right.
Huge quantities. So the quantities we request are very small for them. So they say, no problem, pick the best agaves you want, and no problem, take it. And that's helped us to develop very good profiles and with very premium agaves. Yes.
What distillery do you normally use? You work with just one distillery, correct?
No. When we design, we don't own a facility in particular.
Right. The reason I ask is I know that the Don Sueños, for instance, your signature's on the bottle, and you're using the distillery there is in Arandas, no?
Yes.
It is. Let's see here. Well, you can tell me better than I can find it, probably.
Yes, Don Sueños.
Don Sueños. NOM 1499. So.
Yes, Don Sueños use the NOM 1499. And we have been working with that distillery since their beginning. We started together our business. We have more brands with them than any other area. But remember when I told you that we design tequilas, part of the design is to choose the proper facility to produce the tequila.
Oh, okay.
That's a very important point compared with other. When you go as a private label directly with a distillery, you don't have too many options. They have only one receipt or only one process,
right?
And you can adjust a little bit, the process, but you have that equipment. So, and part of the process is define the kind of the way to cook in the agave. If it's brick ovens or autoclaves,
right? Or both, or a combination of both.
Yes, or any combination, or the distilling pots, the alambiques with stainless steel or copper, or all the equipment you need for that particular profile. So when our customers find us, they at the beginning they think like, hey, you are like a middleman, because you are not the distillery. But they say, okay, if you go to a distillery, many times the distilleries, they just know how to produce one profile. That's it. And the same profile is for all the brands they bottle, right? Because many times the owner, the distillery owner, hire a master distiller to teach his people how to produce the tequila.
Right.
And that's it. They produce the same tequila all the time. And with the time, they understand how to do the small adjustments to the process. And they can do it a little bit smoother or a little more of sweetness when they cook the agave. But small adjustments. When we design something, we define the kind of yeast we need to use. Maybe a mix. We have projects with different yeast in the same profile.
Wow.
And we are free to create whatever is needed for the trademark.
So this is very much like a master chef. If I were to make a comparison, we have all these shows now, these cooking shows on television. You can be Fieri, you can be Guy de Laurentiis, you can be whoever, and or you can be top chef. But it's not uncommon then that the chef teaches the staff how to make these different dishes, and then the chef goes on to open up something else, or is contracted to work somewhere else. So it's very similar. In the master distiller case, you can be responsible for a particular brand or several brands, but each brand has a separate recipe instead of the cookie cutter recipe, you know, that some distilleries can only make. I mean, some distilleries are McDonald's, and some distilleries are you know, something on Rodeo Drive that's only one, you know, that only one.
Exactly. No, yeah, you are giving a very perfect example about this, because it's exactly when our partners in the brands, the brand owners, when they hire us as his tequila makers, they know that we will be for sure controlling all the process. They don't deal with the distillery, because we pay, you know, we use leasing. We lease the distillery, but we own the process. We own the tequila we produce, and we have our own storage tanks. We have our own barrels in the facility. Sometimes the distillery has some barrels that we can lease it or pay some you know, rent or lease. Some of our profiles if we need it, and if we we don't have that kind of barrels and we need it. You know, we do a lot of deals, these kind of deals with the distilleries, but at this point we are the master chef in this case, and the distillery is the kitchen. So if you want to create a special dish, you don't go with the kitchen owner. You go with the guy who knows how to do it, right?
Exactly.
So you're giving a perfect example. Exactly.
So what do you look for in a customer? What do you look for in a client? I mean, you've been in the business 15 years, and I'm sure you get a lot of people knocking on your door, and do you wind up turning people away, or what? Because, you know, in our business and what we do, you know, we're Tequila Aficionado. We disperse and information, but what we do on our PR side, you know, we work only with particular people that we want to work with. So I would imagine it's the same thing with you. So what do you look for in a customer? What attracts you to go, you know, this, I think I can help you. You know, what makes you want to help a customer? What attracts you to them?
Okay, good question. You know, we have the fortune to not need to go for getting customers. The customers, we have a very simple website. We say that we have a private label program. The website is casaaceves.com, and people read that we can do, and they make us his request for our website. But the most important customers we have already is our recommendation from other customers.
Ah, okay. So you do referrals, and then
yes, the referrals has been the most important, because it's like a word-to-word recommendation.
Well, it's the best kind of sales, you know.
yes, it's the best. You know, I remember one of my first customers was the people from Comisario. Then they suggest another guy. You know, a very good friend. They told me, hey, I tried your añejo, and I said, wow, it's the best añejo I ever taste. And the guy told the guy from Comisario, hey, please take me with your tequila maker, because I need to do something with this. And we started creating another project, and this product becomes in rock and roll tequila.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
Rock and roll tequila is making the rounds. You know, we've tried to get samples of some of those, but they've been busy, you know. And Comisario, I'm so glad to see it coming back, because it's been dormant for so long. And Don Sueños, they you know, I know you we were talking off camera that you had just got back from WSWA, the big show in Las Vegas, and you were there with Comisario. But Dos Sueños has won just brand new on the market again, and it's won awards. Won silver medals across the board at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So you're the chef of award winners. I mean, if you come down to it, you're winning these James Beard awards for your tequila, if there were such a thing.
But the key here, Mike, is we only produce premium products. So we distill perfectly our products. Every time we produce something, we send to competitions, or the brand owners send to competition every time they get some award. Mm-hmm. That means that the quality of the product is great. But the flavor is another stuff. And here is where or we need to understand the brand to fit with the market. Because maybe you say, wow, this is an incredible Blanco. But maybe your market, you need something more for sipping. Maybe you need an añejo, not a Blanco. Mm-hmm. So you are using a great tequila, a great Blanco, but targeted to the grown target. Right?
So it's really it behooves the owner, the brand owner, to know what target market he's going after.
For sure. In fact, one of our to make a decision to work with a brand owner, mm-hmm. we need to understand what we need to know that they are doing a good marketing strategy. If mm-hmm. they don't know the market, if they don't know where his market is, we don't work with them. We don't want to create not successful brand. I don't know how to say it in English.
Right. Yeah, you're not in it. You're not in it to slap a label on a bottle and just just churn stuff out. You're making memorable recipes.
Yes, we receive a lot of requests, Mike, and thanks God we receive a lot of requests. But take us the same time to produce for somebody that has a great resources, great ideas about how to reach certain market. We prefer to work with them. Mm-hmm. We say, my brother and I talked 15 years ago when we started, our focus is going to be to create the greatest tequila, the best tequila, not cheap tequilas. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And after that, we need, after creating a great tequila, doesn't matter if you don't have somebody who take it and put it in the market and push it in the market.
Right, because making the tequila is half the battle. That's not even half the battle, because the real full battle is once it gets to the border, you got to get it past the lips. I mean, the owner does. He's got to be able to making the tequila's almost the easy part.
Yes.
Because
you're right.
The tough work is trying to get it past the lips and selling it, moving it in a. I'm sure you understand the United States is the largest consumer of tequila, right now, more so than Mexico. Also, that there are 80% of the tequila is consumed in a cocktail in the United States, but I'm sure that the market itself, at least in the U.S., is saturated. Do you ever discourage anyone from coming and just going, I don't think that I can help you, because a lot of people come to us, do I know a reputable distiller or a good distillery, because they don't even know how to ask, and my first question is, why a tequila? Why don't you go do a vodka or a gin,
exactly,
or a bourbon, or something
exactly.
something more acceptable in the United States, because it's just easier, So yeah, do you ever? I guess you and your brother have your own criteria, but do you ever discourage people from coming on to even going into the industry? Because You could just see
Yeah.
it. You could see the writing on the wall, and you know they're in trouble. They're doomed. You know.
Yeah, you know that the market, the American market is of course, for tequila is a boom. Part of this agave shortage is because different factors went at the same time. One was the increasing in demand.
Yeah.
But even that, there are a lot of brands of tequila, a lot of proposals. You can get lost with different products. So I don't like when I take a bottle of tequila and maybe nice packaging, and I pay maybe $40 per bottle, and then I pick another from the same NOM with a very simple packaging, and that cost me half, $20.
Right.
When I taste it, are exactly the same. Why? Was made by the same NOM. So they are using the same tequila. So here you are paying $40, you here are paying $20. So you say, I don't want to waste my money. When I pay a penny, I need to understand that I'm going to receive a fair price for the product I'm getting, right? Nobody wants to pay more for something that you can get it for less money in other place or in another bottle. So we try to avoid this kind of thing when we create our brands. If you are putting a tequila in a very nice bottle, this is a new project that was launched. Great product. All this product is custom. All the packaging is very expensive. So you cannot put a very simple product inside of a very expensive packaging. So you need to offer something more, right? So that's why when we design the product, we make it more complex. We add different components. This project has, for example, we bring agaves from the 5 appellations.
Wow.
Yeah, the biggest percentage is from Highlands, but we use from the other 4 appellations. So it's very complex product. So you can
is it like an 80-20 blend? Like 80% from the Highlands, 20% from the other regions, or
close
something like
close
that?
to that. Yes,
Okay.
close to that, exactly.
Okay.
But we are giving something additional. The product is it's incredible. The tasting notes are great, but when you pay that quantity of money for a very luxury bottle,
right,
when you taste it, you say, "Wow, this is worth."
So you're creating something valuable. You really are you really feel responsible for the flavor profiles that you create. And so I guess, and so it's nice that you've been able to find clients that you guys are all on the same page. They want to create something of value and give you the wherewithal to be able to create something so unique that it's only available through them, and obviously through
Exactly.
you. Okay.
Exactly. I never gonna put the same tequila in a very cheap bottle, because the tequila really costs more to produce it, and and I of course respect what I create for different brands. So that is part of the when getting back to the conversation about what is the kind of customers, how they find us, is a lot of people work in a request. They say, I want to do this. Okay, do you know the market? If you don't really know, you don't know the market, invest your money in other stuff.
Yeah, go get a vodka.
Don't waste your money.
Yeah.
The tequila industry doesn't need more brands, really. Doesn't need more. Needs more new proposals, interesting proposals. So when I found something about this, of course I'm gonna push this project with you. But needs to be very, the most important is that they know the market, has a clear idea to know his target market, Of course, they have if they have resources, money to push the brand in that market. Of course, we're going to support that, and we become his partners for long time, right? So that's is the way we work. And this guy Trey from Don Sueños, this guy was very surprised to me because he's very young guy. He came to Mexico, visit us. He don't drink tequila, so he brings another partner. Yeah, he doesn't drink tequila.
Wow, okay.
He bring another partner, say he's my tester, so he's gonna say if it's good or not.
Wow.
But he presented to me his marketing plan, his research. The guy knows a lot about his target market. So I could not say no to him because the guy is very smart, know perfectly where he wants to go with the brand. We create this profile perfectly that fits his target market. So I don't know if the brand is good or not. It's not my business to use the brand.
It's good.
In general terms, I'm not talking specifically about Don Sueños. I like the bottle. I like the concept.
Yeah.
But but my point is I'm not use the brand because the point is the brand must match with the target market. Should call or should talk with the market, not to us.
Right.
I have personal preference. You have your own preference.
Sure.
But the product should talk with that market. So it's all the work we do with Trey, and product at the end is great. That's why they has some months and they have already 2 awards.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fairly new brand, and what drew me to it, and we've talked about this before, but they've got your picture on there, and
yes.
I know speaking with them, they wanted to make sure that they did you proud also. They spoke very highly of you, as a matter of fact, when we spoke on the phone. And like I said, your name appears. I think this is the first that I've ever seen your signature, and on a bottle, because in the past, the guys that would sign their bottles would be like Don Julio and people that were alive, and now it became a thing for the master distiller to sign every bottle, or the brand owner does these bottle signings at supermarkets all over the U.S. But I and you and I've talked for something like, I don't know, off and on, maybe 5 to 8 years. We've never really physically met, but we've kind of communicated over a long period of time. And to my knowledge, this is the first time that your signature appears on a bottle.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm really glad to see that you've been kind of like a secret weapon. You and your brother and Casa Aceves has been under the radar, but the people that know who you are in the business have really. I'm glad, like I say, I'm glad that Don Sueños is getting the recognition, because that's of course reflective of you and your recipe. And now Comisario, which was dormant for such a long time, and now is coming back on the market as well. And the rock and roll tequila, that's been a novelty for at least 3-4 years, and I haven't been able to get any samples. So it must be doing well. It's kind of neat to see that it's like I tell people, you're like the 15-year overnight success. All of a sudden people
looks like it's slowly emerging. No, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you don't get this gray hair for nothing, man.
No, we never like it to put our names in the bottles or something like that, because we respect that the brand owner is who invests in his brand. So we don't want to be in front of them, But this was a request directly from them. Hey, can I use your name and can you sign my bottle? Of course, I can do it. Rock and Roll requests the same thing about us, and looks like it's a trendy.
It's a trend. Yes.
It's a trend. My brother now signing the new bottles for Comisario because he's who prepared that profile.
Okay.
So between us, um, whatever who is the guy who prepared the blend and perfection it and is who signed the bottle if it's requested, you know.
Yeah, it's a trend now, especially with the craft boom, which is another either. In fact, I know I asked you this question in Spanish off camera, but I'm going to ask you in English. When we talk about either trendy, the word craft, the tequila boom, and then gimmicks, because right now, the CRT is getting ready to redo the normas, and there's a new expression that will be accepted among the normas, and that's the cristalino expression. Which we've already seen some of these tequilas already on the market. Like I said, I think the first one I ever saw was Maestro Dobel back in the old days. Luna Azul has one. Don Julio's 70th has one. They have been coming. I think the newer one was Volcán de mi Tierra. That was like that's how they entered the market with a Cristalino. What do you think of the? I mean, I see a lot of cons as opposed to pros. The people that I watch, because I watch the industry as well, and in my case the social media part of it, where a lot of the public likes to talk about that, and I see my friends that I call oak heads are the ones that really enjoy the wood, and they're going, "Oh, that's a gimmick. Why would you go through all that work to age something and then strip it back?"
Exactly.
So what do you think? I mean, what do you see as that? Is that just a fad? Is it going to last forever? What's going to happen?
This is my point of view is all the time is going to be different point of views. Mm-hmm. The point of view of the producer, we Casa Aceves as producer, and all the producers, we are killing a great añejo, filtering and take it out the color, because you don't only take out the color, you take out the flavors and the notes, and
right.
And there are different options to do it, but in general you are not keeping the flavors. So
generally it loses some character when that happens.
Yeah, a lot. And with the time we are perfection in that process, and we are getting a very good result. But in general, you are taking out the flavors and notes. So
that's gonna kill you, though, huh?
Yeah, it's you say why to do that? But the point of view of the market of the distributors say, hey, we have a new category, we have another option for tequila, and in the past the category of añejo was not selling, it was not interesting, the sales for añejo, but now Cristalino, the market is asking for more. If we don't sell the product as añejo, we can sell it as Cristalino, even if we are offering a product that you put maybe 1 year, 2 years, or a blend, or all the effort you do for getting the wood from different barrels, whatever you need to do.
All the blending and mixing and experimentation.
Exactly. After that, you have a great añejo, and then suddenly you need a Cristalino, and that great añejo you have, you need to take out the color, filter it, and you become blanco again. So say, wow, what we are doing here? All that time was wasted. You waste a lot of product because it evaporates in the wood. So that's why Cristalinos are higher in price, because become añejo first, and then you remove the colors, and it's like a step in backwards.
Yeah, it's a step, and it's an extra step. And it's an extra step backwards, so it's not even. It's almost like counterintuitive,
Yeah, but we say that, but the market say no. We want Cristalino, and we are paying for that. So if the market want that product, you know,
Yeah, I know. Who are we to say no, right?
exactly. But I have one point that here is interesting. One of the points to me are interesting in Cristalino is when you usually sip tequilas.
Hmm.
I personally, the añejo, I like the añejo, especially interesting blends, with
Sure.
vanilla caramels, um, not too dark, but
Right.
I cannot drink more than a couple of glasses
Uh-huh.
because the quantity of tannins you get, the tannins are a toxic element,
Yes.
so makes to get a headache. It's like
Well, it
like
happens in wines too.
red wine. You have a lot of
Yes.
tannins,
Yeah.
and the wood add tannins to the aged tequilas. The
Right.
color are because the tannins. So my unique point that may be the Cristalino is better product than Añejo is because no tannins. You are removing the tannins.
Ah, well, my wife, yeah, had said that whenever she's had cognac, or even tequilas aged in cognac, and even sometimes those that are aged in like French oak, she can tell right away because she'll get that instant headache. And some people are
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit more sensitive to the tannins than other people. And so
exactly.
I see your point. I've had one or two tequilas that oddly enough have given me headaches, and it's like I don't get headaches from tequila, but you're right. It's the wood, it's the barrel,
It's
it's
good, yeah. And
yeah.
many people tell me, hey, I don't get headache with drink añejo. I drink a lot of añejo, and when I drink a lot in a party where they drink añejo, okay, it's good for you that the tannins doesn't make you get headache, but that doesn't mean that the tannins are not affecting you.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Toxic element. Maybe you don't have the effect of the headache, but the effect is there.
Yeah.
It's a toxic element. So um, that's why Blanco is the best product for long
For long
drinking.
for drinking and for mixing and things like that.
Exactly. If you have a good Cristalino with the notes of the wood
Uh-huh.
with no tannins, that's great, right?
Hey, well, there's a good selling point, folks. For those of you trying to figure out how to sell a Cristalino, it won't give you a headache like other
Yes,
añejos will. Hey,
that's
that
good.
makes sense to me. It does. It makes sense. You're obviously a chemist and somebody who's dealt with the science part of it. I don't. It's interesting. A lot of my friends are very much into the distillation process and how many degrees and heat and stuff, and everybody likes their different phase of the tequila process. I enjoy talking about fermentation because I think to me that's where the magic happens. But I've talked to guys like Felipe Camarena, Carlos Camarena, and those guys are like they're magicians. They talk about the beauty. I asked Carlos one day, and I have it on tape. Actually, we have it on Tequila Aficionado. I asked him if you were to if you were to describe distillation to a layperson who is just not scientific, what would you say? And the first thing out of his mouth was, distillation is the meaning of life.
A great definition.
Oh yeah, and then he went on to explain, in lay terms, so that the average person could understand what that means, what distillation means. And it was a beautiful. You can see it on. You really can if you search our YouTube channel or you search our website, you'll be able to see that interview. That was the year that Tapatio was introduced into the United States, and it so happens that the importers are the folks who make Charbet wines, and Charbet used to have their own tequila as well. And it's a funny story how the owner of the family head of the family of the Charbet distillers in Northern California met Carlos, and his son is also a master distiller who has now taken over the business. Carrasco Savage, I believe is her last name, Marco. And they tell a story about how the three of them were arguing about distillation. And you know, they argued all through the night. And I could only imagine what that conversation must have been like, because they would have been completely over my head. I would never have gotten anything technical, but I would have loved to have been there to record it and watch their reactions, you know. But anyway, it's distillers to me are, especially the ones either with pedigree or have been in the business for a long time. I have had a chance to, and you know everybody, you know, you've been in this business long enough, and you have, this is a small, big business. You know, everybody knows each other, right?
Yes.
And I've had a chance to hang out and interview and speak with Ingeniero Leopoldo Solis and his partner from Perfil. I believe that's the name of their company. I'm very much interested in their, what I call their Mozart method of fermentation, and to spend an evening with a master distiller who has been at it for so long. I tell people especially with him, because I actually spent most of my day and evening with him and some of his clients, and it's like spending time with Gandhi, because he very much is not a scientist as he is more of a mystic. Mm-hmm. Am I making sense? You know, some people are very like in the United States, when you talk to a master distiller, some of them are very numbers focused, you know, and they're very much in the process and the chemicals and the degrees. And other chemists, other ingenieros who are chemical engineers, are like, they're mystics. You know, they go into very much the spiritual aspect of what they do, and it's very you know, you wouldn't expect that from a scientist, because you guys you're chemists, you're scientists. Are you? Where do you fall into that? Do you think you're very much a spiritual person, or you're very much numbers oriented and more into the minor details of the flavor profiles and the nuances? And you know, where do you lean when you create something?
Yeah, you know, my focus has been, you know, like numbers, performance, keeping quality in certain parameters, mm-hmm. But this different point of view, mm-hmm. about metaphysics, you know,
yeah, or metaphysics or spiritualism or whatever you want to call it, you know.
Yes, it's of course I believe in that. You don't. And nowadays there are so much information about everything.
Yeah.
So I believe perfectly that the zone, you know, when you put nice music with good patterns, you generate certain vibrations that makes the you know, the life, you know, when you have the yeast, it's like a kind of bacteria that is working there.
But it's a living organism, you know.
Exactly, it's a living organism, and all living organism responds positive. And when they have how to say it, when they are in the middle of a context of, we call it, I don't know how to say this in English, Mike,
say it in Spanish.
Okay, cuando está metido cualquier ser vivo, que está metido en un ambiente armónico, ya sea especialmente con las vibraciones, ¿no? De sonido, energía, magnetismo, cualquiera de estos aspectos, cualquier organismo responde mejor. Si está haciendo un trabajo de fermentación, hace la fermentación mejor. ¿Qué es mejor? Genera menos componentes malos y genera más componentes buenos. ¿Qué son? Pues los diferentes alcoholes.
Pues sí.
You have different kind of alcohols no,
Right.
and one are more toxic than another. So when you are in this, you're gonna translate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Are
What Jose
tonic.
was saying was that when you put a living organism like yeast in a harmonic situation, for those of you who aren't aware, that there's what I call the Mozart method. There's a method of fermentation where you play, coming out of speakers, you play Baroque or classical music, and that type of music, that type of vibration, when it's a type of harmonic vibration, it allows the yeast to perform its work better. There are some distilleries that actually have taken numbers and said, I remember talking to one guy, in fact, at Feliciano Vivanco Asociados, and
Yeah.
Juan Manuel. I don't even know if you know him or not.
Papicos. Le decimos papicos.
But yes, and he
It's
says
his
that's his
nickname.
nickname. He says, I'm a numbers guy, and I would never have believed it unless I had done the numbers. When we play the music, we create more tequila. When we don't play the music, we don't create enough. And to him, that was his bottom line. So if it ain't broke, like as we say in the United States, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So you know, but you actually believe that if you put a living organism in a harmonic situation where you have the vibrations, it responds better, and as you said, it creates better tequila and less of
Toxic,
the
the
toxic
toxic element.
elements. See,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. Do you yourself, have you had a chance to use that in some of your recipes?
Yes, in fact, we use that. We use that in Comisario, in our Comisario profile, in
No
another
kidding.
distillery. We use this concept because, believe me, it's very interesting. When you and the science now has not elements to make the explanation, but the numbers give you the results, and you
Yeah.
say, I don't know how, but something happens here.
Well, see, I love that, and that to me is what I've been talking about. And so when I met Ingeniero Solis, it really was like meeting Gandhi. He gives off this vibration. You know what I mean? And I that's why I love talking to master distillers like yourself, and I'm so glad I've had this opportunity to, that you and I finally connected. We finally had the technology to see each other without having to be in the same town, and talk about this, because your brands are as much should be, if not, are becoming more known, and it's about time, and they should know more about the person that Don Sueños decided to put on the bottle, because yeah, it's a trend, but to them it really means something. To Trey and the owners of and to you, obviously, because I know that we've communicated through email for years, and you were always very, very cordial and very kind, and it's so funny though, because we don't get a lot of people that a lot of people ask us, how do we get a tequila made, and I always try to discourage them, because guys like you take a lot of time and care in what you do, and I want to make sure that we all want to make sure that whoever comes into this industry, let them know that it's a tough business, but it's very creative as well, and that's why like I say, I love discussing different aspects of your business. And see, I didn't know that about Comisario, because I loved it. I think there are certain tequilas that resonate with people, and Comisario actually, and others that use this method, actually do resonate. You know,
Oh, yeah.
on a spiritual level as well.
Yeah. You know, everything you are saying is true. I believe in that. I agree with you. Um, I personally don't like to give a to give a spiritual meaning to the things. I believe in God, of course. I'm a spiritual guy, but I don't like to give spiritual meanings to everything that happens. In the business, I'm very numeric, you know.
Right.
But I'm open all the time to believe that something happens, and I'm very grateful with God all the time. That is true. I always, if something good happens, I say thank you, and if something bad happens, I say thank you, because it's helped me to do something better later, right? So I always say thank you.
Okay, well, then you know, you can, with that kind of attitude, then you're certainly, there's no way you can fail, and obviously you haven't. You know, you've done some wonderful work. Show the folks the Penta. This is an upcoming. If you don't mind showing them the bottle and the box again. This is an up and coming project from Jose and Casa Aceves. That's a gorgeous. That's beautiful.
That is incredible product. Yeah, we have now two products. This is a añejo.
Wow. And you said you're also coming out with a Cristalino as well?
Yeah, but let me talk a little bit of this very fast.
Sure.
With this añejo, we work with, at the beginning, you know, to create the profile. The owners are winemakers from Napa Valley, so was very challenged for us, because they are very technicians in not as distillers, but you know, they have a lot of ideas of how to create a tequila very nice, very complex, very premium. And there are 5 partners, and we had to put all the ideas together. Becomes a very unique product. We bring 42 different barrels.
Wow.
We did tests with different yeast, different barrels: American, French, medium toast, heavy toast, from different houses. The barrels, and we taste every. We did, of course, a small test, small quantities, 1 barrel ish, to try the notes and create a special blend that give the characters that all the team agree with that. So it was very complex but very interesting product. So here you have 5 appellations and a lot of different kind of barrels mixed: French, American oak, and 2 different yeast: champagne yeast and the traditional tequila yeast for fermentation. So you can imagine the complexity. And for the Cristalino, we have the Cristalino at this grade. The champagne yeast give us a very nice butter notes that seal for this Penta profile. And the Cristalino is really great.
So this is a new exciting tequila. Do you have any idea when it might hit the market, or is it available now? Or
it's available now. Yeah, we are shipping this week the first truckload, but you can get into pentatequila.com and you can put your order there. It's a kind of direct sales. You buy by internet and they sell directly to you. They have a wine club, and you can subscribe to his wine clubs or just to the Penta, something like that.
I see. Okay.
Very interesting. Yep.
Yeah. Well, maybe someday we'll actually have samples of that one on sipping off the cuff.
I told you. Send me your address. I can make it for you. Yeah.
That's okay. I think we have talked your ear off, Jose. Is there anything else that you'd like people to know about before we sign off? About Don Sueños, or about the business? What if you had one thing to tell people about what you do or the business, that's something you feel is important, what would it be?
Okay.
I know I'm giving you a broad thing, a broad question.
But
you
let
get
me tell
to pick
you,
the subject.
Yeah, something that is very amazing to me, and I'm gonna give you that point is any. There are a lot of different spirits, lots, cognac, whiskey, bourbon, gin, vodkas, tequilas. But when I think that a bottle of tequila, just blanco, or maybe one añejo like this, the process started at least 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
In the ground. Yeah.
In the ground.
Yeah.
With the sun. No other ingredient more than a plant and water. Of course, fermentation and all the process, but the ingredients is just one, is agave.
Right.
So that to me is very amazing how you can taste that great product. And that's why all this is very, very interesting, because you can have something that you can enjoy, you can smell, you can taste and compare what different regions, different agave regions, different processes, different fermentation yeast gives you, no? And when you start understanding the importance of the different process, is when you start appreciating.
Appreciating.
Yeah, the kind of spirit we have. When you do a product very good distilled with no heads and tails, no defects. When we detect heads and tails in the smelling, we say that has some defect. When you see something very clear, very well distilled,
right,
and you can enjoy it, you can drink with no toxic effects. You can really enjoy it and share it with your family, with your friends. Have a great time with no effects, right, to your body or your to the situation. When you get that, this is not good, right?
Yeah, right.
For your health also. So I just want to comment this because to me it's very interesting that the tequila process takes a lot of time. So just have in mind that when you are drinking a tequila.
Yeah, and we say the same thing when we sign off. We always say, sip wisely, because it's the amount of work that you guys put into it. There's no way. I haven't shot tequila in I don't know how long. Those of us in the United States start off shooting, but that's all gone. It's over with now. Now it's about sipping and enjoyment, and it's really nice to know that there are still guys out there like you and Casa Aceves that are making very, very special recipes and beautiful dishes. You guys are like the master chefs. So thank you for taking the time. I know I've taken an hour of your time to be here with us on Open Bar, but this has been such fun. And you can visit Jose if you are looking to have somebody create a very special tequila for you. I know we're in the middle of a really tough market right now, but if anybody can help guide your way, and if you know where you're going, this is the guy that chances are can get you there. So Jose Aceves of CasaAceves.com. Shoot him an email. Jose, we will be talking with you, off and on again, I'm sure. Thank you again for your time. This has been fun. It's enlightening. You're our first actual master distiller in our Open Bar. We've talked to brand owners and women in tequila and all that. And again, I can't say enough about the stuff. And if you want to try a little something that comes from his head and his heart, try a little Don Sueños.
Don Sueños.
Yeah, and Comisario, and hopefully others that'll be coming back on the market.
Thank you, Mike, for the opportunity. Thank you for, I enjoy the time with you a lot, really. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jose. We'll be talking with you soon, okay?
Sure.
Thank you again. Take care.